Yeah, I've been working away on the model. I have a inner tube here, I'll show you in a minute, that's connecting. I have the scaffolding on. I've just screwed them on for the time being, but I got to make them quick release so you can pull this all apart. And I have pins in here, so we're beginning to get there. So I'll just show you the catamaran in parts as well, and close-up, so you can see what I'm up to and how I'm working on this. Here you go, here's the center where the centerboard's going to go. It's going to slot down here. It should maybe be an angle iron, but the concept's right. And I have pins in here at the moment, give you an idea of concept. And if you pull out the pins, that all goes away. I got a center mast piece, which is supposed to be something like this in here, with a tube in it, and you put the mast in. Right? Now, I'm still kind of working on how that's going to work, so that comes away. So we're at this stage anyways. This comes away and you have your 4 pins with it there. Most likely be chained on somehow, but we're not worried about that. And then I unscrew these next, which doesn't take too long. They're all marked. Because there's 4 pins here, it stops this sideways movement you would have had before. It locks everything. It's a little bit, it's a little bit loose because it's not, it's a model. It's not perfect. But when you're doing actually the model, you pin these and be perfect. But you won't have any of that side movement anymore that you had before. It's gone. It can't happen. And as you can see, I've got the hull coming apart like this. It's a little sticky still, but it's getting there. Right, and there's going to be a pin up here to line them up in the end, like a little cotter pin here that lines this up, so it can't twist. Even though when you put in these side things, it couldn't twist anyways. I had the stud sticking out on top here and realized for transportation it would be terrible. So what I've ended up doing is putting the threads into the tubes themselves. So there's I don't know if you can see it, there's a flange in there now. Like, I've taken the flange and put it underneath in here, and basically it's glued up in through the hull. So when you screw down, it's going to tighten up, it's going to pull up on that flange, so it can't go anywhere. Also, it's a little bit handier for transporting, and now you're going to have these go on the back ones, on all 3, right? And they're going to go on like this, and you're going to put your stud down through. The stud should be shorter really, but it's just because these bars were all I had here for designing at the moment. I could cut a piece out here and make them short, which I might do yet, just to make it look good. So anyways, I put in those flanges, so we have those all in now. And now you just need your screwing your stud down through. And if you actually took this off and curved it down in here, you'd only need a little piece of a stud. If we measured it in footage, if I had a calipers, if we measured it in footage, it'd most likely be half a foot, 6-inch studs or something, or even less, which is about right. So you can just brings those with you and zip them down through here. In goes your boat. I'll redesign this maybe so it looks better. So it's all about design. You can't transport like 6-inch studs sticking out on top of the car really. So I decided to change that. So I've been working on a lot of the detail on the boat. The mast is up and that, but let's just get you in closer so you can see it. This is better when you get in close. I have a centerpiece in the mast here so that it's clipped together at the moment, so you can put it in half. I'm just put this up here because I'm gluing this. This is going to be where the centerboard goes. And I have the centerboard more or less prepped here, this drying. So the centerboard's in. I have the pins put in the hull, but I've got to straighten this hull a little bit. It's a little bit off. I made a little bit of an error when I did it in the very beginning, with these studs. So this hull is a little bit off center. The problems I'm having, these have to actually be lock pins, I think these four, some kind of a pop down lock pin situation so that they can't pull up all the time. I'm a little worried about these being just pins at the moment. So that'll be approached. I have the centerboard coming down through here on these two angle irons. So you have a centerboard, and I am working on the rudder. I haven't quite masterminded what I'm going to do with the rudder. There's the rudder piece that were supposed to go in here, but I've left them for a minute. But I have got the steering going, pinned. So that's good. So we are getting there. I'll just turn the boat around and show you the steering wheel quickly. There you go, it's pinned in there. And you can take it out and you'd be sitting up here. I've got to get some kind of a seat going and you'd be steering this way. So that's that. There's the halves for the hulls. And these are the non-torquing sections. It couldn't do that anyways with the nuts and bolts, but I put them in anyways. And they didn't need to have the rings on them. I just had those handy at the moment. I may just put pins in there in the end to make it simplified. So I got to get nuts for this yet. I don't have anything for there, but there should be like quick cotter pins so you can pin them and go like the clip-ins. So we'll work on that later on. But we're getting there and it's really shaping up. And you know, I've done the soldering here for the little eyelets for this, just so it works, so you get a general feel of the boat and how it should come together. So everything comes apart into 8-foot length. This is a little bit longer than 8 feet. So, you know, when the hull is done, it's going to be, instead of 8 feet, it's going to be maybe 9.5, because there's a cone out here. The connector pieces, line these up, but I'll correct that quickly. I'll make a little slot, correct this. What else have I got? So there's two angle irons down here for the centerboard to go down through now. That's only just holding it for the gluing, and that's a spacer in there. Now I got the steering done. As you can see, you can sit up here and steer the boat. So one of the main problems you'll come up against is all these tubes are made to connect with connectors on the outside. So the drain inside is left open. So it's very hard to find connectors, so you have to go around trying to find inner connectors for the tubes, which is difficult. And I thought that would be easy, but actually it was more difficult. There used to be some inner connectors, but now they're all gone. So you run around trying to find something that'll fit your tube for the inside, for the connecting of the two halves. So that's a real difficulty, one of the most difficult parts. And this bow was very difficult and took me a couple of days to work out how to flex it in like that, and you'll see that on the video. So there we are, we're getting close to a boat that's fairly finished, I think.